Well, good morning. Welcome to Debbie's Back Porch. So glad to have you with us. As promised, I'm doing another in my series of Super Bowl snacks. And this is a classic, potato skins. You know, I think you have to have potato skins at your Super Bowl party. People would wonder, where are they? Before we start cooking, please give us a thumbs up if you like our videos and subscribe. You'll get a notice when I post new videos. Now let's get cooking. I've picked out 4 medium to small potatoes. You want to keep these pretty small. I only am cooking 4 tonight. That'll give me 8 potato skins, but you may want to make double or triple that. I've washed them really well with a brush and dried them off, and I have some olive oil here. So before I bake these, and I have my oven set to 425, we're going to make sure that they're covered in the olive oil. I'll do them on one side and then I'll flip them over and do the other side. Now really the only purpose of this olive oil is to hold on the salt, because I'm going to salt these before I cook them. Most of the salt will come off during the process, but the purpose of the salt is to help draw the moisture out of the potato as it cooks, so it doesn't actually steam, it bakes, and you get a fluffy inside. Now you may say to yourself, why does this crazy lady care if the inside is fluffy? We're making potato skins. She's going to take the inside out. Yes, but I'm not going to throw it away. This is kosher salt, by the way. Has nice big crystals and it'll stick onto that oil. So anyway, no, I'm not going to throw it away. I'm making Super Bowl snacks. I'm going to make a different snack with the inside of the potato. I know you didn't think I was going to throw it away. Anyway, even if you're not doing something else with the inside of the potato, you still want to oil them and salt them. You just get a better quality potato skin. And I've made a little bit of a mess on my pan here. You know, I tend to make a little bit of a mess. So I'm just going to wipe that excess salt off and arrange them here kind of evenly on the pan. And then I'm going to vent them, meaning I'm going to cut a little hole or cut some little holes in this so that the steam will vent. And I'm going to be sure to make my little holes straight across where I'm going to cut the potato later. And just a little bit of venting there. I'm trying not to cut too deep. Now I've got my oven preheated to 425. And I cooked these for an hour. I'm going to test them now. And the fork goes in easily. And I'm just going to let these sit here and cool while I do a little prep work. Now you can stuff potatoes with a lot of things, but the classic I think is probably bacon and cheese. That doesn't want to stand up. I've got some grated cheese here, and I've got some pre-cooked bacon. You can pre-cook yours to almost done. We just don't want it quite done because we're going to toast it in the oven, and we don't want to burn the bacon. So that's the pre-cooked bacon. This is the grated cheese. You can certainly grate your own cheese. I'm just not one of those that believes grated cheese is bad. I have a little pack of chives here. I'm going to wash them and snip them with some scissors. You can use these green onions instead if you like. And this is cream cheese. Most people don't put cream cheese in. I do. I just like the creaminess of it. I have some garlic powder here, and I'm going to use a little bit more olive oil. As I said, that's sort of the classic topping for potato skins. You can use other things, ham and cheese, salmon and cream cheese, whatever you like. Now I'm going to put a little more olive oil in here, and then I'm going to add some garlic to it. I'm going to use garlic powder. You can use fresh garlic if you prefer. But you know, on Super Bowl night or when you have guests coming, this is easy and it works just fine. We're going to use this oil and garlic powder mixture, and that's half a teaspoonful of garlic powder, and that's about an ounce of oil, maybe just a little bit more. Just going to mix it up really, really well, and then I'll set it aside, and we're going to use that oil to bake our skins again, to kind of toast them. And I think they've cooled enough to handle now, so we can get them ready for the topping. So you just cut it in half, and I'm cutting it along the lines where I vented the potatoes. And just with a spoon, you can see those are good and done, I'm going to clean out all but about 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch of the potato. You see they're still pretty hot inside, and I have a glove on now so I can handle them easily. Just scoop them out, and what's left in there is really great potatoes, and it's nice and dry. I'm going to make pomme dauphine, or potato puffs, and you need a dry potato for that. But that's another video. So once I have them empty, I'm going to just turn them, cut side down, put them back on my cast iron breakfast skillet here. I love this skillet. It's so versatile. It does so many things. It's a BS&R. That's a Birmingham Stove and Range breakfast skillet. I got it in 1966, and it's been used most days since then. So now that I've got them on the plate, I'm just going to use this olive oil and garlic mixture and coat them really well. And I'm going to let some of that mixture drip off down into the skillet. These are going back in the oven at 425. I just turned my oven back on, let it preheat. And we're going to put these in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. And that's going to firm the skins up, and it's going to give me a little toasting on the underside where we've cut it. Isn't that pretty? And that's going to give it just a little kick of flavor too. That little bit of toasting, a little browning on the edges. Browning is more than just how it looks. It actually adds flavor. My ingredients are ready. I've chopped the chives and the bacon up with a pair of scissors. I've let the cream cheese come to room temperature, and my cheese is already grated. So let's put the toppings on. So I'm going to start with a little cream cheese. Most people, I think, don't put cream cheese on here, but I just like the creaminess that it brings. And then, I add some sour cream before I eat it. You may want to serve these with a little bowl of sour cream. I think a lot of people like sour cream. And then the shredded cheese. I always tell people that there's nothing wrong with grated cheese. It doesn't melt quite the same way, but it melts nicely. And the cellulose that's in it is a naturally occurring food. And now the bacon. The reason I didn't cook the bacon all the way done is because if you cook it enough that it'll crumble, then it's going to scorch when we put this back in the oven. If it's all the way done, then it won't stand much more cooking in the oven without getting burned. And I just buy the pre-cooked bacon because us old folks need some shortcuts. And now the chives or the green onions, whichever you chose. You want to cut them very tiny. If you use the green onions, cut them on a bias. These are going back in the oven for about 15 minutes, still on 425. But do the last 5 minutes under the broiler. And this is what we've got. And oh, these smell wonderful. Bacon, an onion. Your guest will be hungry when they walk in the front door. Got to eat one. Now, I'm making lots of low-carb snacks for my Super Bowl series here, but this is not one of them. It's not too bad. A half a potato is not really all that bad. About 12 carbs, 11, 12, something like that. I'm going to put a little sour cream on mine, and because I always like sour cream. You want to probably set this out with a little bowl of sour cream and a little bowl of maybe salsa or maybe more cheese. Maybe some folks want more cheese. But people are going to really love this. You can cook the potatoes ahead, cook them the day before if you want. That'll work just fine. And I'm going to cut in here. As I said, this is a classic. Lots of folks kind of expect it, and if they didn't expect it, they're really glad to see it. I'm using a knife and fork here, but it works just fine as finger food. They're dry enough and firm enough that someone can just pick them up and eat them without a knife and fork. And that little toasty, crunchy cheese and bacon, what's not to like about this? So if you're getting your party ready and you're making your list of appetizers, I hope you add this to it. I hope your guests love it. And I hope you do. And I hope you make this. Thank you for joining us on Debbie's Back Porch. I hope to see you again tomorrow, when I'll be making some salmon stuffed baby bells. See you then.